Good evening. Welcome, everyone. Stoked to have you with us this evening. We're going to have an absolute blast tonight. It's Tuesday night right now here in Auckland. If you're watching this somewhere else, I know we've got Australia here. We've got people all over New Zealand here. And I know that if you're watching this recording later, it has been shared with you and you're in for a treat. So I've got to keep monitoring. I don't know why I created a waiting room tonight, guys. Absolute accident. Like I said before, if I can do this, anyone can do this. So if you're waiting to get in, I'm keeping my eye on it. But for now, guys, tonight's going to be special. If you're brand new to the conversation around crypto, you're really in for a treat. Tonight's gonna, this is aimed at people that are a little brand new, and at the same time, you're definitely gonna get value even if you've been in crypto space for a while. Because the individuals that you're gonna hear from this evening have been at this for a long time. And so, sorry, I'm just seeing admit as it's popping up, people jumping in here. So, guys, if we haven't met before, my name's Ty Stevenson. I'm based here in East Auckland, and I have got an above average desire to lead as many people into freedom as possible. And so if you're watching this inside of the Fit Life Facebook group, our vision and mission is just to lead as many people into freedom as possible. What that means is, freedom for you it will be whatever you define it as, but for me, I define it as, freedom being spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, and financially free. You're able to live life on your terms, create the life and the impact that you want to have, serve people wherever you want to, and go and create a life of impact. And so drop freedom in the chat if you are keen for more freedom in your life, meaning you do not have to go and work a 9 to 5 unless you choose to and you love what you do. But we're on a mission here to create lives full of freedom. They can go wherever God sends and do whatever he says and just help people left, right, and center. And so part of that, I believe, is being on the cutting edge of what's happening in the world. And, I've just been, loving this. There we go. Just freedom. I love it, guys. Let me just check what the heck's going on Facebook. Yeah, we're good over there. We're live. So, yeah, tonight, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to keep my story brief. I got started here as a student about 2.5 years ago. Had no idea about crypto. I'd heard the term, someone told me about Bitcoin a few years before that. I wish I paid more attention, to be quite honest. And so if you have not paid attention to the crypto conversation until today, get a notepad ready. I am ready, guys. I have got mine ready because I know that the two individuals that are coming on tonight are going to drop value. So my first 6 months in the space with our academy, I was a part of the Crypto Academy. I just dived in. I put in a few hundred hours. I adjusted my life. I said, right, I missed the .com thing. I'm not going to miss this next crypto thing. And I just went hard. I decided to get up at 5 a.m., watch educational videos, and from there began to apply what I learned. And my life changed because I decided to make a change. And so you might be in a space right now where you want your life to change. Nothing changes unless nothing changes. As cheesy as that is, if you want your life to look different next year, then you need to start making changes now. You need to start thinking, okay, what do I want my life to look like by the end of this year or next year, etc. And actually have a big picture vision. Because if you don't have a vision for your future, you will very often return to the vision of your past. And so if you want your life to look different, you need to define what different looks like. You need to get a book, something like this. I've actually just finished this one, and so I've busted out my Break the Code one from going to that event in Miami in January. Guys, drop Break the Code in the chat right now. If you want to break the code on finances, if you want to break the code on what it is to escape the matrix and actually become independent, to no longer have to just trade your time for money. This is something, when you start going down the line of actually looking at how money is earned and generated and grown wealth, etc., you'll start to realize that the lowest form of wealth generation is at an implementation level, when you are trading your time for money and primarily at a muscle level. Like I was a trader, I was a sparky most of my life, but when you are timesing your muscle power by time, you got limited resources and you're going to get a limited return. And until you transition to a point of getting your money to work for you, that is where you'll step into creating potentially generational wealth. And so tonight is not going to be financial advice or anything like that. We invited you here to learn from those in our community that have done this. They've gone the way, they can show the way. These individuals have stepped into higher amounts of financial freedom than probably anybody else in this chat this evening. And so I want to encourage you, if someone has got the life that you want, they've got the results that you want, whether that be in marriage or parenting or finance, take notes. Get as close as you can to the people that have the life that you want. They've got the results. Because if you subscribe to the opinions of those around you, you subscribe to their lifestyle. And so if you're asking your neighbor about crypto and he's got no experience on it, don't take his advice. But if you want to learn from someone that's got a lot of experience, then tune in tonight. Take notes. Get yourself, turn off your phone, turn off distractions, turn off the TV if you're watching this on your phone or something later, and plug in, because the information that you can receive tonight can seriously change your situation. And so, tonight I'm really honored to be able to bring on two guests, one at a time, that are going to share some value with us. First up, we're going to hear from Mr. Michael Jacobsen, who a lot of our community know very, very well. And then after that, I'm going to bring on Damon, who's been in the crypto space for a long time as well, and is working in that space at a very, very high level. And so first up though, guys, for those of us who know Mike, we know him, he's part of our group, a part of our community, adds a ton of value behind the scenes and very often here on a Tuesday night. But for those of you that don't, just prepare yourself. This man has been in the investing, the trading space, managing fund space, the educating space for over 20 years. He has seen it all. He's been involved in crypto for a very, very long time. I'll let him share that part of his story, but I want to encourage you, lean forward. People pay this man, and at least have in the past, thousands and thousands and thousands of US dollars to be mentored and coached by him. So lean forward and take notes. As cheesy as it is, note takers are money makers. So write it down. I guarantee there's information that'll be shared tonight that you will not remember later. So make the effort to write it down and get familiar with what's going on here. And so without further ado, guys, can you drop value in the chat as I bring Michael Jacobsen on tonight? Because I know that he's going to bring value. He does every single time. So Mike, thank you so much for your time this evening. I know that you've got plenty you could share with us. You could probably teach on this stuff for days and days. But tonight, I know that you've got some fun stuff planned. And so I'll get myself out of the way and just say again, thanks so much for your time, bro. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Once again, awesome to be here. And, just you mentioning about crypto, and I just think back to when I started. And, it was back in about 2001, I started to hear about trading for the first time. And that really sent me on a journey to understand how can I leverage my time through, this dynamic of trading and change my life. So that sent me on a journey for a number of years to find that. And when I came to, I think it was 2010, a friend came up to me and said, look, I've heard of this new currency called Bitcoin. They reckon it could be the digital asset, the digital currency of the future. And I'd never heard of cryptocurrency digital assets before, and I only wish that I had paid attention, because at the time I think Bitcoin was like $15 or something, and even if I put $100 in, just $100, it would have netted me millions and millions and millions of dollars. So one thing looking back on that I've learned is even when people say something that you might not understand, it pays just to dig in a little bit. Get a little spade, dig in, see what you find. It might be the opportunity that turns your life around. So I first heard of Bitcoin back in 2010, did nothing until 2017, when we had the big run in Bitcoin, where Bitcoin exploded, crypto exploded. There was this incredible excitement because it was a brand new technology that never existed before. And the thing that transforms the trajectory of the history of the world is new forms of technology. That's how our world grows exponentially. When you look back and see different forms of technology that's been discovered, you see massive growth in GDP. You see massive growth in the standard of living of people. When you see we came through the Industrial Revolution, how that technology transformed the future. And then when we came into the technological age with the internet, everything changed from that point. And so every time we have a new piece of technology that is discovered, it transforms the way we live our lives. And what it does is it also creates an incredible transfer of wealth. So I got into crypto in about 2018, just after the initial massive run, and started to really understand what it's all about. And what I learned was that in the past, there have been 5 historic asset classes. You've got cash, stocks, bonds, commodities, and real estate. So in the past, if you've wanted to diversify your capital with your investment portfolio, you typically have gone into one of these asset classes. And so now we have an asset class that is brand new, because the last asset class to be introduced was bonds, which is 250 years ago. So now we have a brand new asset class. We now have 6. Now what I discovered that meant is that every hedge fund, every bank, every mutual fund, every superannuation fund, every pension fund in the world was now going to diversify their assets under management into this new asset class. Now, even if it was 5% into cryptocurrencies, that represented trillions and trillions of dollars. And so at that time, I realized, man, this is a brand new asset class that is here to stay, because I understood that the world was going digital. Everything was beginning to go online. And if everything was going to be digital, we needed some form of digital money. That was obvious to me. And so I started investing heavily, and ended up doing well. And I had the skill set to understand what was happening. I was able to read the charts. I was able to understand value and understand price. Therefore, I was able to make informed decisions at the time as to what represented value and how I could invest wisely and make asymmetric reward to risk. So that was an incredible opportunity for me. And I'm going to share a couple of slides because I want you to understand where we are right now. Obviously, we've had A lot of great runs in crypto in the past few years. Then crypto's crashed, and a lot of people still have questions in their mind. Is this for real? Is it here to stay? What's going on? And the reason for those thoughts is they watch the mainstream media, which is basically just like a tide flowing and ebbing, basically just reflecting the emotions of people and not the facts. But the facts are that every single bank in the world is pouring hundreds of millions of dollars into their crypto infrastructure. Hundreds of millions of dollars, every single bank in the world. And at the moment, every bank in the world is closing their brick and mortar shops because they know the future of banking is online. And for that to happen, cash won't exist. And slowly, 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 they're phasing out physical cash. And so we know crypto is the future. And we look at the facts. The footprint says every bank in the world is pouring all of their investing opportunities into crypto. And I'm just going to share my screen and let me see if I can find this here. Because when we see, if we look at the comparison between the internet, when the internet was introduced, and crypto, we see something far more powerful. So this is a comparison of the internet explosion with crypto. So the white line represents the total internet users, and the yellow line represents the total crypto users globally. So at the moment, crypto is growing at twice the rate of the internet. Now remember that the internet was a brand new technology that never existed before. It was revolutionizing communication through email. It was revolutionizing marketing and retail. And it was incredible. It was blowing people's minds. It was making fortunes for a lot of people. Crypto is growing at twice the rate. Now this was taken back 2021. This is where we are now, 2024. We have about 1 billion crypto users. Now, in comparison to the internet, this is it's a logarithmic scale. So the average of internet users was about 300 or 400 million people. So it's almost three times the rate of the internet now. And so if we project this out over 6 years, we're looking at 4.3 billion users in crypto in the next 6 years. Phenomenal, phenomenal growth. So we are still incredibly early in this space. And the other thing is that when I began to look at how markets work and understand their cycles, I began to understand that we were very, very early back in 2018. Now, this is a classic wealth phase chart that is used to understand investments over time. And typically you have these 4 different phases. The first is the smart money. This is when the people who create the technology are investing in that technology, and they're the ones who get the best benefit. We call it smart money. It's happening undercover. No one really knows it's happening. Same as when cryptocurrency started to be created. Only a few people really knew what was going on. People who are online, people who were in the forums were understanding that this brand new technology was growing in the market. Then we have the awareness phase when larger investors start to get in typically. And this is historically how it has always happened. And then you get the mania phase. This is when the public begins to realize, hey, I can make money out of this. Everyone starts to jump in. There's media attention, there's greed. And then we get a massive sell-off. And then we get what we call the blow-off phase. And we end up with this despair phase. And this is the typical, the bubble pattern that we've seen in a lot of markets over the years. So this is what normally happens. Now, the different thing about this time is that notice here, institutional investors like big banks, massive pension funds, they typically have their ear to the ground more closely than we do. So they typically get in first to larger investment opportunities. However, with crypto, it's been different. It's been a grassroots approach. And institutional investors have not had the same access to the market that retail investors have had because there has not been any regulatory clarity for them. Because of that, this is the only time in history where retail investors have actually front-run the larger investors, the institutional investors. This has never happened before. But this is what your typical valuation chart will look like. So let's go forward to the next chart. And this is a very, very, very famous chart that is what we call a cheat sheet. And this explains the cycle of any market. So again, it's very, very similar. If I go back, you'll see the same bubble pattern. We get hope in the beginning, optimism, belief, euphoria. The market's going all-time high, and then the market sells off, and we come back and then the market, basically goes up again. And this low point is the main point of opportunity. So where are we right now? Well, right now, we have actually already had this first initial phase of mania with Bitcoin. However, at this stage of mania and excitement and enthusiasm and optimism, the larger players were not involved at all. This has purely been retail traders with a couple of bigger players, but not the larger banks to a large extent. So what have we seen in the past few years? We've seen a massive sell-off. And so right now, we're actually in this blue area just here, beginning to take off again. So what has this looked like in the past? Well, for those of you who are old enough, this is a chart of the NASDAQ back in 2000. Okay, now this is when the internet first started to get its growth. And so let me find my pen. This was when the internet started, all the way back in this region here. And up to 2000, the year 2000, we saw a massive increase in internet stocks because there was a brand new technology. People were excited. It's going to change the world. But what happened after that is we had a massive sell-off because of a whole raft of reasons. But what you'll notice is that this technology was still here to stay. It wasn't going anywhere because it actually was going to revolutionize the world. It just didn't have its proper place here. And so what happened over the next 23 years to where we are today is that market has gone up. Briefly, if I look at that, it's like at least 600% from that point. So this is where we are today. So back in 2000, this was called a bubble. This was a dot-com bubble. And if I go back a chart, this is the same sort of bubble as this, the same sort of bubble as this. So it looks like it's the end, but it was actually just the beginning because this technology was here to stay. What happened? We had a 90% sell-off, exactly the same as the crypto market in the past 2 years, 90% sell-off. But the institutions realized, hey, this is going to be the future. This technology is going to be here forever. Sure enough, we had all the valuation come back in and the market is at almost all-time highs. So this is where we are today. So what's something I'm interested in? One crypto I'm currently interested in is Sandbox. This is actually a gaming crypto, and I'm not giving investment advice. This is something that has been extremely interesting because with the metaverse, you now have the opportunity not only to trade online, but you can game online, you can live in a virtual world, you can interact with other people in the virtual world. And with the gaming, Sandbox, which is one of the cryptos, is a way that you can actually trade, buy and sell in gaming world. And so if we look at the particular price of Sand, which is its cryptocurrency, it had this exactly the same pattern, a huge explosion in price from 0 cents to $8, massive collapse, and we're right back at this 43% region now. And imagine if price went back to 8 again. I'm not saying it will, we don't know for sure. If it did, we're going from 43 cents to $8. So something like this that is something that's used by billions of, or sorry, not billions, hundreds of millions of people around the world, a gaming situation. Something like this, there's incredible potential that I see in Sandbox. Now, this is VeChain. This is one that I bought back in 2017. And this is actually the chart that I was looking at. I bought around 20 cents here. And the reason I could buy that is because I understood how to read charts. I knew how to draw patterns. I knew how to understand value. And when this broke out here, I was actually a buyer. So what happened after it hit 20 cents? This is what happened next. So this is my buy all the way down here by this blue arrow. And as you can see, to the high, this went up 2,000%. It actually went up to, I can't remember what the price was. But as you can see, it was 2,000% from the lows. So that was something I bought back in 2018, simply because I was unable to realize that this was something that was undervalued. And this particular cryptocurrency also had the 90% sell-off, but I understood that it had intrinsic value in the logistics industry. So this is something that I bought. I do not own anymore, but I was able to see this opportunity simply because I had the skill set to understand it. So that's something that I bought. So where are we now? I believe we're in a place where not only are we beginning to get clarity from governments, and we're beginning to get awareness from people, and but the banks and the larger players are beginning to realize everyone wants a part of this. Everyone wants to be in a place that is going somewhere, and the world is moving into the digital era. So I'm just going to have a few questions here. Let's see if there's anything directed at me. I'll try and answer them, and then I'll give it back to you, Ty. But it's like anything. Once you cross a certain threshold in an area of technology or something new, that's when the thing starts to gain massive traction. That's when you start to get exponential growth, whether it's in the internet, whether it's in digital currencies, whether it's in Teslas, whatever it is. At the moment, a lot of the media attention has been very negative. But that's because there's been a lot of suppression by governments, simply because this takes away their power from them. This is the first time in history that retail traders and investors have been able to invest in front or ahead of the larger institutional players. That's why we have an incredible advantage that might never happen again. That's why I believe there's actually a lifetime of, it's the opportunity of 2 lifetimes at least. So I just have a question here. Michael, do you manage your crypto portfolio by moving in and out of stable coins, or do you ride the wave? There's 2 ways to do this. One is you can have an exchange portfolio, which means you buy and hold on a 1-for-1 basis. If my portfolio moves in the past, if it's moved in profit in a certain degree, I have a plan on actually taking out funds. Because if you get a massive increase like you've just seen and don't take anything out, you can ride that wave all the way back to the bottom, which is what you don't want to do. So you have to have a plan for your investment. You need to have a plan. When am I going to get out? How much or what percentage of my portfolio will I liquidate? Otherwise, if the market moves quickly, you end up reacting according to your emotions and not according to rationale and logic. So it's typically good if you make a lot of money, absolutely take some off the table and lock it away. Prices will always come back. You will always have another opportunity to get into a coin or investment. At the moment, Lisa, I am not trading crypto actively. I'm focusing on other active trading. But as the bull run progresses, yes, I will be trading crypto. The reason for that is because we've been ranging for a long time. Price has been moving sideways. But once the next bull run starts, all of the demand starts coming to the market. And so we have strong trends that will just go in one direction. And so you want to ride those trends. Adam, Michael, if the banks make their own crypto, will crypto be less valuable? No, because each crypto has its own use case. Some are used for logistics, some are used for banks, some are used to prevent counterfeit of products. Each crypto has its own purpose. Sandbox is used specifically for gaming in the metaverse and the gaming world. So no, I think there are cryptos that will go to zero, but the ones that have a legitimate use case with a large audience using them, those are ones that have intrinsic value for the future. Crypto cards, brilliant idea. And I would say hold your crypto as long as you believe in it. You have to have confidence in what you're investing in. It's like anything. You need to believe in what you invest in, and that will give you the confidence to hold it for the long run. So that's where I believe where we are right now in crypto is. That's where we've come from. Still a long way to go. If you come back and look at that chart of the NASDAQ, it looked like a bubble, but when we look back, it was actually a small blip compared to the next 20 years. So crypto, digital assets in the future. What's it going to look like in 20 years? We don't know exactly, but we do know it's going to be the future. So do your due diligence, understand how to get involved, get the skill set. And so when the opportunity arises, you have the opportunity and the ability to recognize it and take advantage of the opportunity. All right, Ty, I'll give it back to you.
Amazing, bro. Thank you so much. Guys, drop some love in the chat for Mike. Just so much love and appreciation for you, man. Just, I know you could go on and on and on, and there's so much more, but we've got plenty of time, right? We do this every Tuesday, and to give you guys context, for those of you that might be new with us tonight, some of us that are already fully a part of our Freedom Investor team, the majority of our community right now is obviously focused on just traditional day trading, getting in and out of the market as fast as possible. You may have seen Mike's screen there at the end. He was showing, I don't know, intentionally or not, but the Dow Jones, that's what most of us trade every day, morning and night for a little bit here and there. The idea of getting in and out the market, making little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% gains at a time, which compounded over time is extremely powerful. That's what we mainly focus on. So tonight we thought we'd open up and just start sharing a little bit more about what the heck is going on in the crypto space. Because if you're not paying attention to it, yes, I still believe all of us should be learning how to trade little bits every single day like that, but learning how to take advantage of things like Sandbox or Bitcoin or VeChain or projects, other projects that are showing up that are still very much worth getting into, is something that is a way for you to create generational wealth over time and adopt your own investment strategy. DCA, dollar cost averaging, is a popular one where you decide, at the end of every paycheck, weekly, monthly, whatever, I'm going to invest X amount into these particular projects, whether that be stocks, crypto, whatever it is for you, you make that decision. But then when you learn to read charts in our community, or you also take some trade ideas that our educators send through in an app called Swipecoin, which is how I made most of my gains in my first few months here, you learn when is the best time to get in. So instead of just blindly throwing your money at certain projects, you're aware of zones, you're waiting for price to come to you, and then you're able to take full advantage of the appropriate time to get into something. So without getting more down that, let's check. Yeah, definitely DCA, just checking. Yeah, checking the chat out. Guys, Mike, always such a pleasure, man. Thank you. Love and appreciate you heaps. And we're going to keep flowing right now, guys. So this next individual I get to bring on, guys, we met online learning about this stuff together because we were both students in this space. And, he's been learning and in the crypto space longer than I have, and he's got the results to prove it. And so I can't remember exactly how long it took before he was able to ditch his day job, but this man has not just created a lot of success for himself. He, manages the Discord for a very, very, very successful, I believe, like $40 million NFT program. And so he's inside that space, offering value, creating, security protocol, and helping people into the crypto space safely. And so he learned a lot from within our platform and our educators. He started applying it personally, and then he started to turn around and help the people around him. And so from just adding value and helping people, he's been able to create an entire career out of that in terms of, contracting to different projects and adding value here and there. The guy drops mindset gold left, right, and center. He coaches and consults, CEOs and boards of these kinds of programs because he's been in the personal development space for like a decade as well. And so don't let his youth fool you. This man is an absolute weapon, and is such a privilege to welcome on Damon to come on this evening with us. Damon Boothe, let me find you in here, affectionately known as the unstoppable bunny in the Web3 space. But bro, thanks so much for being with us this evening. You have become a brother and a friend, and I'm just so honored to have you on tonight. Traveling around the world together to Croatia recently was an absolute blast. Budapest is next for us in February. But tonight, man, I want to give you space. You've got so much that you can share. Obviously, tonight is, a little bit of an intro for some, but you take us wherever you want, bro. I love you. I trust you. I know you're going to drop value, and then we'll pick it up from there. So, guys, drop some value in the chat and love in the chat for Damon as he takes us off for the rest of the trip tonight.
What's up, everybody? I'm super excited to be here. Man, what an introduction, Ty. Wow. Absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely amazing. Well, I'm going to share a little bit of my story, if that's okay with y'all. I got into the cryptocurrency space, early 2020. And that's when I really started to understand what this space could do, because I was in the States, and this is a story I know Mike just shared a similar story. I was in a room with people where they were talking about Bitcoin and when it was like $300, and I didn't understand. I had no clue what it was, but I knew it was good because the way they were explaining it to me, I'm like, wow, that's insane. But I didn't understand it. Didn't know what blockchain was. I didn't know what all of the terminology that they were throwing around meant. And I didn't know where to get it. So I stayed away from it. I let my fear take over, and I didn't get in at $300. It's insane what fear does to your mind, to your body. It stops you from going to get what you want. And I've done a training yesterday for those that were on. It's all about understanding, right? When you study the right knowledge, you gain understanding. When you get understanding, you have faith. When you have faith in something, you'll go and find something. You'll go and find the information. You'll go and do it. So about 2.5 years ago, I was able to leave my job due to watching classes every single day. DCX changed my life, and I think it can change your life too. Now, before we get into that, I want to share a few things with you all about the crypto space, about the Web3 space, what's currently happening, what is possible, and what could really be the future of Web3. What can we envision? Like if we really think about it, and I'm going to go over a few things to really get every single person here to think, right? Because I love it when people think. when I get people to think, they'll start finding the answers themselves. All right. So first things first, I'm going to share a video with y'all. And this video is amazing. I'm not going to share too much what it is, but it's a crypto game that's going to be launched very soon. And I'll share with you why this is such an important milestone and why this will be important moving forward. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Drop a 222 in the chat if you can see my screen. All right. So I'll go ahead and play this video. So yeah, that's the video. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I can share the link if you guys want to go and look for the full video. Now, the reason I shared this video, just look at the quality, right? Look how the gameplay is. See how modern this is. See how advanced it is, right? This is literally one of the upcoming games that could change everything. Because I don't know if you guys saw, I put it in the chat. Pay attention to the wooden sign. It said fight for ETH. Fight for ETH. Meaning you can now play a game and earn ETH. Now, for a lot of you guys, many of you guys aren't into gaming or don't really care about gaming. The reason why this is important, some of you have children, some of you have grandchildren, they play games. Most of them play games, or their friends play games, or they know someone that plays games. And there's a whole industry in gaming, also on Twitch, where people make hundreds of millions of dollars streaming gameplay. I think I saw a contract recently for about like $700 million with one of these streamers, and it's insane. There is so much money into the gaming sector. It's absolutely incredible. Now, when this starts to come into Web3, and now every time, I don't know who here heard about Fortnite or ever played a game in their life. Like, I'm sure at some point in your life you played a game somehow, right? Even those old, Microsoft games where you had to play the game with the mines or the pinball machine. Remember the old computers and you had the cards, right? Super Mario, exactly. So now imagine when you play a game and you unlock something, or you get a new skin for your weapon, or you get a new anything new in the game that will be minted as an NFT. And now you can take that and you can actually go into the marketplace and sell it for the value it has. Now, you could also go into the gameplay. You know, a lot of people spend hundreds of dollars in games. I know parents that spend hundreds, even thousands of dollars every year on games for their children. You know, they want to buy the skin and the battle passes and all of these things. Now, when they're done playing games after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever, every single asset they bought is still stuck in the game. They can't transfer it out. Now, with blockchain technology, you can transfer these assets, you can sell it, take the money, and go play a new game. This is revolutionary, all right? Now, I'll go to the next one, and here you see the Roblox CEO. Now, anyone that has grandkids or kids, you should know, or you know what Roblox is. Now, Roblox is a very, very famous game. So the Roblox CEO talks about potentially adding NFTs to the gaming platform. This is massive. This is incredible. Now, this is very recent news, right? I think it was released on the 10th of November. When this happens, NFTs will be mainstream. It will be available to the masses. A lot of kids are playing, you know, Roblox. Now, they're not going to do it in a way where kids have to go and, you know, make wallets for themselves. They're going to make it super, super simple. You know, they are working on some technology where you kind of, you know, can put your email in, and then your email will kind of be your wallet address in a sense. And you can actually, you know, get your NFTs and store them on that email address. Well, how safe it is, I'm not too sure. But the possibilities of cryptocurrency, of NFTs, of Web3 is endless, right? This is a sector that is growing so fast. Now that the gaming industry is coming in, now I'll let you in on a little secret. Fortnite is building their Web3 game. Now, I don't know how long it's going to take for them to release it, but that's going to be massive, all right? Now, the game that I showed you before, it's called Illuvium. Now, when I'm sharing this stuff with you, I don't mean that you have to go out and research the coin immediately and buy a bunch and go and find the land. No. When I'm sharing this stuff with you, I'm sharing it so you can think. You can see the future. You know, you can envision what could be possible, right? In no shape or form am I giving like advice for you to go and get these tokens, because right now the market had a very nice move up. I don't recommend you to go and buy tokens unless you find the right entries and you've done the right proper research. Now, the next token I want to talk to you guys about is Flow. Now, Flow is a project that's on one of my own personal lists. Now, yet again, don't go and immediately start buying this coin. That's not what we do here. This is just an idea for you to go and research to see what is possible and what will be possible in the future, all right? So let's go and have a look what Flow is. So Flow is a permissionless layer 1 blockchain empowering developers to create limitless Web3 apps for mainstream adoption. Right now, keep an eye out on that mainstream. Now we're gonna go a little bit lower, and we're gonna look at who are they? Who are they partnered up with? You know, who has a contract with Flow? Ticketmaster. Interesting. I think most of us know what Ticketmaster is, right? Mattel. Now, if you've ever been into toys and everything, like you got kids, you know what Mattel is. All right. You know, Seussibles. NBA. The NBA. NFL, right? Animoca brands, right? Doodles, if y'all into NFTs. Circle, USDC, Circle, right? The company. Coinbase, UFC. Now, what does that mean? What does it mean they're partnered? It means that they're building on Flow. They're building on the Flow blockchain. Now, I'm going to show you guys the NBA one and what they're doing. Yet again, this doesn't mean for you to go out and to buy this. I don't recommend it. This is just for you to have an idea of what's happening and what is possible, right? So who here in the chat, and I want you guys to drop a 222, knows what sports cards are? You know, baseball cards, basketball cards. Who remembers sports cards, right? Anyone know those sports cards? Some of them were going for crazy. Yeah, exactly. Trading cards, right? Trading sports cards. Still got them. I love it. Well, this is going to be the revolutionary, or actually kind of already is, version of these trading cards, of these, you know, sports cards. Now, I'm going to go to, you know, show you a little bit of what this is. So you can collect moments from games, from real life basketball games. Now, I'll take you over to the marketplace for a second so you can have a little bit of a look of what that looks like. So for example, Brandon Miller here with a common type. So there's different rarities involved in NFTs. So these are NFTs. So there are different rarities involved. So this is a common, you probably got rare, you got legendary, which is like, very rare. And for this particular one, there's only 4,000 available of these. Now, when we click on this video will be your new trading card. You will own this video. You will be one of the 4,000 people in the world that owns this particular video of the NBA. Now, you saw they have the NBL too. They got UFC too. They got UFC, which is big, right? Now, I'm gonna go into something and just bear with me, all right? We're gonna look up LeBron, okay? Let's go to LeBron. Here we go, LeBron James. Now let's go to high to low. So this particular first clip of LeBron, he's doing a dunk. There's only 49 available, and the rarity is legendary. Now I'm gonna go ahead and click on it, and some of you might already see the price. It's listed right now for $696,000 US. Now, will it sell for that price? I'm not too sure. There's only 49 available. But the average sale of this particular asset, has been $41.8 thousand US. So you have to understand, they have been sold, right? In the past, there's people that have sold them, and this is the average sales price. Okay, so this video, you could either be the owner or you could sell it for a profit, all right, if it's worth something. Now, with NBA Top Shot, you can go ahead and like look at the packs, and there's different packs that they drop. I'm not saying to go out and buy this. Most of them are worthless. Most of them are just videos. But in case they do like a legendary or like a rare pack drop, this is something that you need to look out for and be like, okay, if I'm lucky and I mint a rare or legendary, you could probably sell it. But I'm not saying that all legendaries and all rares are sold for a lot of money, but this gives you an idea of where the future is going with Web3. What is possible? This is not even mainstream yet. There's only a few people on the planet. You know how many people that love sports don't even know about this yet? It's incredible. What do you think is going to happen when mainstream is coming into the Web3 space? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen with some of the prices? What do you think where do you think they're going to go? Right? So really, really think about this stuff. Now, for this next project, I'm going to show you. This is a project that I really love. Yet again, this does not mean for you to go and get it. That's absolutely not what this is for. This is for you to get an idea of what is possible and what could potentially come. Okay? Now, I want everyone to pay attention to synthetics. Now, the reason why I will go over in a minute. Now, right now, the price of synthetics is $2.65, so $2.65 US dollar. Now I'll go to the website, the synthetic website. And what is synthetics, right? So the liquidity layer of DeFi. DeFi literally stands for decentralized finance. That's a topic for a whole nother day. But synthetics provides liquidity for permissionless derivatives like perpetual futures and options. Now, the word I want you guys to pay attention to is derivatives. Derivatives, okay? Now, pay attention to that. Now, keep that word in mind, derivatives. Someone drop it in the chat, derivatives. Now, this chart is from 2022, and it's a visualization of all the world's money and markets. So just to give you an idea, coins and banknotes, what people around the world think of as money, is worth about $8 trillion. The world's gold is about $11.5 trillion. The world's billionaires, $12.7 billion. and you go to the S&P 500, which is $36 trillion, right? Now you got the stock market, the global debt is 300 trillion, and we're scrolling down. Global real estate. I want you guys to remember this. Someone drop 326 in the chat. Remember this number, 326 trillion. Remember that number for later, okay? I'm going to talk to you guys about real estate in a minute. And we scroll down, we go to the wealth that's in the world, 463 trillion, and we are at derivatives. Now, pay attention to derivatives, okay? I just told you guys what synthetics does, right? Now, derivatives. So what is a derivative? So a derivative is basically a contract between two or more parties that derives its value from the performance of an underlying asset, index, or entity. Now, we're not going to go too deep into what that is, but if you look at the derivatives, according to the BIS, the market value of derivatives is now $12.4 trillion. Does anyone know the market cap in crypto right now? Drop it in the chat if you know. 1.4 exactly. $1.4 trillion. Now, if you scroll down and you look at the notional value of derivatives, it's now estimated at $600 trillion. $600 trillion. Okay, that's money that people can't even think about. Okay, I need you to understand what I'm about to explain. So when we go to something like coingecko.com, okay, here pretty much you can see all the crypto prices. I'm going to do something. So I'm going to search for the category of derivatives. Derivatives. So when I click on the category of derivatives, now let's go back here, $12.4 trillion. Now, what do you think is going to happen when a portion, a small percentage of derivatives start to flow into the Web3 space? Where do you think it's going to go? What is the top project in the derivative category? Synthetics. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to go out and buy it. This simply means keep an eye out on it. See what's going to happen in the next few months to years, right? Synthetics is the first project, meaning it has the largest market cap. Now, the market cap is only 863 million. Now, what even if a percent of the derivatives flows into the Web3 space? And what if from that percent, half of that percent flows into synthetics? What would be possible? Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen. This is something for you to look out for. What's going to happen when that money does start flowing into synthetics, SNX? So pay attention to what is happening in this space and what could be possible, right? So synthetics right now is at $2.64. Now, when we go and we check, let me just scroll back. What was the all-time high? Let's go ahead. So the all-time high over here is about $29 US. $29. So when you say research and watch something, what are we watching for? So all of that will be explained in the DCX classes, how to research projects, how to research coins. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But I'm just simply showing this to every single person here, because it's so important to be aware of what's happening currently and what could potentially happen in the future, right? Because derivatives, you should really understand what derivatives are, especially if you're trading or if you're studying that. You should know what derivatives are. When you understand that, you'll get a better idea of what I'm trying to say here. But when even a percentage of that flows into Web3, it could be game changer. Now, for the second project that I want to put on your radar is Chainlink. Now, the reason I'm putting this here is to explain to you what is possible with cryptocurrency and Web3. What could the future look like? What is it looking like right now? And what could it be in the future? Now, I want you all to think, not now, maybe 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, but look out at the possibilities of what's possible. And that's why I'm sharing this stuff for you, because most of the things that I'm sharing might not even, roll into the roles for the next 5 to 10 years. Some might take longer. Some could happen earlier. We don't know, right? It depends on adoption. It depends on what's going to happen. Now, Chainlink right now is $14. And I'm going to show something real quick. So take a look at this. Imagine if every Tesla was tokenized as a DNFT with real-time metadata updates showing its service record, mileage, accident history, market value, and more. So all current and future owners would have on-chain access to verifiable vehicle history. So think about this. You go to the store and you buy a Tesla. Now, I'm not saying this technology is already here. I'm saying this is what's possible. This is something that will come to the space, definitely. When it's going to come, when it's going to be implemented, we don't know. This is an idea posted by Chainlink of what could be possible in the future. Now, imagine you go to your Tesla wholesaler and you purchase a Tesla. As you purchase it, you have to put in your wallet address. When you put in your wallet address, they'll drop you an NFT when you go pick up the keys for your brand new Tesla. Now, that NFT is pretty much your papers of owning that Tesla, right? Now, I'm not going to go too deep into that. But now when you have the contract address of that particular car, you can now go up and type it in, and you can find every information about the car, the vehicle model, the mileage, what software it has, past sales, has it been sold before, what service, has there been any accidents? Think about that. Right now, when you go you go to car sales lots and you go try and buy a second-hand car, how stressful is that? You don't know what happened to that car. You have to know someone. Your friend has to be a mechanic. You have to know a little bit about cars, because if you don't know anything about cars, and I know a lot of people that don't, and they go buy a car and it's not what they thought, this could completely invalidate all of that. This could be game changer for the entire world, right? Because now you can't tamper with it like that, because your car is also a technology, right? So it's constantly updating its metadata on the blockchain. Now, this next one, I'm going to go into depth, and that's pretty much the last thing I'll share with crypto and what could be possible. Now, imagine if your house was tokenized as a DNFT that automatically updates its maintenance history and past sales on-chain. Now, I want you to understand this. Imagine if your house was an NFT. Imagine what could be possible. Now, I'm just going to go into this real quick. So what is tokenized real estate? Just for the new people here. So tokenized real estate is when real estate property or its cash flows are represented as a blockchain token or tokens to increase liquidity, streamline processes, and enable digital ownership, right? So it basically means you're the digital owner of that particular asset. In general, the use of blockchain technology for tokenized real estate requires the use of either non-fungible or fungible tokens, depending on the goal of what's being tokenized. Now, let me scroll down of what the futures could be, right? So owning the NFT can be equivalent to owning the property. So if you own that NFT, you own the property. So if you transfer that NFT to someone else, that person will now be the new owner of your house. This is how the market is going to move. Now, remember that number, what was it? $326 trillion in real estate? What do you think is going to happen when real estate is going to come to Web3? What do you think is going to happen to some of the projects that are positioning themselves today to be the lead into this? Think about it, right? We're early right now, okay? We're just on time. We're right here. All of this stuff hasn't even been implemented yet. I think there's one country out there where you can buy land, or you can still own your asset, your real estate on the blockchain, but you can't really go and sell it yet or do things with it. So it's very, very early on. Transferring the NFT can mark a change in property ownership, or the NFT can hold critical data such as past sales, addresses, and more. So think about the possibilities. instead of going looking for the paper and all of that. Now your ownership is on the chain. You know, you can see exactly what has happened to that house. Sometimes you go in a house and you can see some damage and all of that. What if technology comes? What if people that come and, you know, before the house is sold, they come and check this, and all of that data is now uploaded on the chain, right? So I really want you guys to think about this next one. Fractionalized real estate, okay? Fractionalized real estate. So you can fractional ownership of real estate. Now, for example, who here knows how expensive it is to buy a house in New Zealand today? Right? You're looking at in Auckland close to $1 million, right? Chances are most people don't have $1 million laying around, or chances are you don't particularly want to have a house as your first asset, especially if you're going to live in it. Then it becomes a liability. So if that's not an income producing asset, then what could you do? You know, instead of going out and getting a mortgage or dropping $1 million, what could you do? You could find 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 friends, right? Family members, and you can all put money together and purchase an asset on the blockchain, a house, and you all have fractional ownership of that asset. So for example, you pay a little bit more, you have 15%. You know, your cousin pays a little bit less, he got 5%. You know, imagine the possibilities of what can happen in the next 5 to 10 years. This is revolutionary technology, right? It's going to be easier for people. This is going to simplify things for people, right? Now, this really got me. So when your house is minted as an NFT, you got the house NFT, but you also get to mint the rights to cash flow NFT. So you can still own your house and you could sell the rights to cash flow NFT on the marketplace. So now if you buy the rights to cash flow, you can get yields from that house that someone else owns. Now the future is endless here. There's so much that could possibly happen. And now this is something, you know, and you got tokenized real estate baskets. It's kind of like the easiest way I can put this is like a real estate or a housing ETF. So imagine there's like an apartment building or like a group of properties. You can now come in as an investor, right? And you can put X amount of money of your investments into the smart contract, and it will give you a portion of that property, of the basket of every single property, right? Now, every month or every week, whenever the tenants are paying rent, the rent gets taken out of their wallets, out of their Web3 wallets, or they send it to the smart contract. And then the smart contract looks at everyone's percentages and automatically distributes the money into every investor's wallet based on how much percent you own. This technology is life-changing. This technology is next level. So I hope that this training, this little intro really gets you to think about what is possible in the next 5 to 10 years. Now, I need you guys to understand something, okay? 40% of all the money ever printed in the United States was printed during 2022 till today. 40%. Think about that. We're currently in the biggest financial wealth transfer in human history. If you position yourself right now into the right asset classes with the right education, you'll be so much further ahead than so many people around you. It's unreal. Now remember this. 3.5 years, close to 4 years ago, I had zero knowledge of crypto. Zero. DCX changed everything for me. The Academy changed everything for me. All I had to do is watch classes. And I did. I took it serious. Everything I just shared with you today, it's not because I magically understood it. It's not because I watched a YouTube video. It's because I watched classes and I did what my mentors told me to do. The reason I'm able to sit here and explain this to you guys, it still blows my mind because I had no clue what the heck it was a few years ago. But I decided that I knew I couldn't give up. I knew I couldn't afford not to study this new skill. And I'm telling every single person there, you can't afford not to study DCX, not to study crypto, right? So before we wrap up, I just want to let every single person know here, for everyone that's already on the team, that's already studying, active members, we're doing a 3-part crypto Web3 security class in how you can navigate the Web3 space safely and securely, okay, without you losing your assets. Because this space is fun, but there's so many things going on behind the scenes that you guys don't know about, and security is one of the most important things that you need. So with that, pay attention, every single person here, you know, you're all invited to that 3-part course that we're going to do. We're going to share some information soon. Ty's going to talk a little bit about it as well. And with that, I hope everyone had crazy value here today from Michael. He shared some nuggets. He invested in VeChain so early. Like, it's amazing. You get to learn from so many amazing people. And yeah, with that, Ty, thank you so much for getting me to share my knowledge and to help people's life.
Bro, just guys, drop some love. I know some of your brains right now there's smoke coming out of your ears. I got people texting me. I know that people are just commenting like, where did this come from? And yeah, welcome to crypto. This is still the iceberg, tip of the iceberg, right? But bro, seriously, thank you so much. I mean, as you can tell, everyone, Damon knows what he's talking about. But I love that part, man, when you said like you did not know about this a few years ago. And that's the thing, you can fumble your way through YouTube, you can ask your neighbor about this. Odds are by the time the news talks about this, we've hit the top and you'll buy, and you'll be one of those statistics that decided to invest in Bitcoin at 67K right before it crashed. And for you to understand how to actually get access to the right information to change your situation, yeah, you actually got to pay to learn, right? You're not going to learn vital information for nothing. But, you know, Damon, myself, we decided to take this seriously. We both started as students in DCX. What was DCX, the Digital Currency Academy, which is now formerly Stocks and Crypto, because they took the Crypto Academy, the Stocks and Futures Academy, they combined the two, and they're part of what we all subscribe to and where we learn. And guys, I want to show you that real quick. But Damon, thank you so much, bro. Just so much love and appreciation for you, man. Absolutely, so much gold. Let me oh goodness, you unmuted yourself, so I've got to find you to be able to unpin you. Wait, that's easy. You're unstoppable. You're at the bottom. There we go. Gotcha. But guys, I want to show you. So like Damon said, first up, you know, Damon already educates on the stuff, as you can probably tell. He was a student. Now he's become, you know, not an educator on our platform, but he contracts to massive companies in the Web3 space to teach people how to do this safely and securely. And so if you're a student with us, you know, part of the academy already, most of us focusing on what I'll screen share right now to show you. So we wanted to just add some value on top of that. And so any of you that know what we're up to, you know, we're part of IM Academy, where we learn online from these educators. There's 170 of them. They're vetted by the SEC every 90 days to prove that they can do what they teach. When you log in to Go Live, you'll see Jay. There is Jay Bonham, our number one. That's who we log in and learn from every day of the week. He's teaching us how to trade, you know, day to day, you know, minute to minute. And then when you roll, you'll see up here, you know, Go Live, Crypto Live analysis. And so for most of us, we're only in the Foreign Exchange Academy learning how to trade on, you know, day to day. Like I said, there's Jay, there's his channel. He's live all the time. You click in there, you learn his stuff. Just like that, guys. And the reason why we're having this conversation right now is because Stocks and Crypto is over here. This is where I got started. This is where I still pay a lot of attention to. There is, you know, like a stack of educators here that are going to break down individually the different components of what Damon just said. And so you might want to learn about NFTs. You might want to learn about Bitcoin. You might want to learn about Ethereum. You might want to learn about the decentralized finance space and synthetics, and how you can be a part of learning how to actually take action and get some exposure to some of these assets while they're still crazy on sale. And so you're going to learn. Honestly, Curtis Cobain, number one place I always recommend to go and learn from. This man is an absolute genius. He's got a combined channel with Mike Sotero somewhere in here where they teach together. Mike is a DeFi specialist. You got Corinne, who teaches the fast start, like how to actually just get into the basics of crypto. Oh, look, there's Jay teaching our sniper vision strategy 3 days a week on crypto. So you can come in here and learn how to trade crypto like we do already on the US 30 or the NAS, etc. Man, you got Nick Gomez in here as well. I can't see everyone, but anyway, the point being, there he is right at the top. These guys are going to teach you exactly how to do this thing. And so with that, yeah, I mean, there's all the Bob Proctor stuff in there as well. I'm going to unshare my screen and bring it back. But guys, point being, you know, if you don't already, like for those of us that have got Empower Packs, you can choose any two options. Most of us have got either foreign exchange and maybe our luxury travel club where we get a free trip every year worth like $3,000 US, etc. Some of you might, depending on what you've got, might want to consider getting an Empower Pack and add on stocks and crypto for the holiday season and just plug in and start learning the stuff. Because I can tell you now, guys, I can tell you we are never going to have some of these prices again in the crypto space. And so whether you're investing 10 bucks, 100 or 10 grand, whatever it is, you need to know where and when, because that is how you create generational wealth. And this is the thing as well. You are never, ever, or never should you ever invest in any market before you first invest in yourself. You are your number one asset. What you know, what you learn. You know, you can get messages online from someone on Instagram that says, hey, send me $1,000 and I'll trade it for you. And you can say goodbye to that 1,000. You might get a little bit of profits over the next 6 months. But I can tell you now, if you want to actually unbank yourself and become financially secure for the future, then start paying attention to the stuff. If you didn't grasp already from what was shared, you know, big banks, you know, we've got people in our community that work for the banks in New Zealand. They know the banks have been heavily investing into how to bring crypto to the marketplace mainstream, because how do banks make most of their money? Obviously they loan out 10 times what we invest with them in our savings accounts, but they also make money on transactions. So they want to become a hub where crypto flows through. They want to be the place where you go and buy crypto because they want to make money on for the exchanges. And so when your bank finally says, hey, we have crypto, you're going to think, oh wow, crypto is safe now. Yeah, I'm not going to go down that conversation right now. But anyway, what I'm trying to tell you is if you can actually become educated, you can learn which ones are worth looking at twice, which ones are worth looking at building a portfolio with. I can tell you now, you, your family, your grandkids are going to be in a very, very different place a few crypto cycles from now. Crypto has predictable 4-year cycles. It's all triggered by the Bitcoin halving. Most of us might know about that. If you don't, you can go research it. It's happening. Again, every 4 years that happens and that triggers the next bull run. And so some reckon, that might have already started. The halving hasn't, but big money is starting to see what's coming and it's mass adoption. And so with that, guys, you have an opportunity. So what that looks like, you can obviously go and learn from our educators, just like Damon has, just like I have, just like many of our people in the chat right here tonight are doing already. For those of us that are already doing this, that are already plugged into Jay, we're learning, we're in the Foreign Exchange Academy. We want to try and give you, we are going to give you a crash course on how to accelerate in crypto really quickly and safely. And so what Damon is talking about, 3 sessions that he teaches already to different groups online. He's going to take our team through those 3 sessions so that you can have a crash course on how to actually get into crypto, where to buy it in the most safe, secure way. Obviously, it's not financial advice. We're going to show you what works well, how to safely manage your funds so that you can actually have digital ownership of your crypto. It's not going to live on an exchange. You're going to learn what it means to create your own wallet, have your own private keys. And then from there, no one can actually take your crypto from you. So with that, guys, we've got those 3 sessions. We are going to let you know where and when. Sorry, it'll be digital. It'll be like this. We do stuff in person, but we want to help the whole family globally. So we'll do them online and Damon's going to run those. So if you want to be a part of those, if you are not already part of our Freedom Investor team on the inside, learning from Jay, learning from our educators, get back with whoever invited you, get back with whoever shared this recording with you. We want to help you plug in so that you can actually start your learning journey. And so you might want to plug into crypto only. You can do that. You might want to plug into Jay and learn how to trade like we do. You can do that. There's all sorts of options. Our academy is a few $100 to get started, and it's a couple $100 month to month, depending on what you want. Depends if you want an all-in pack, you want access to everything for you, your kids, the family. If you want to learn e-com and social media and crypto and trading and travel, you can customize your membership. You can make it whatever you want, and it's month to month. You're not locked into anything. So with that, guys, I want to wrap up the call there. We have gone on just a bit over an hour, but again, massive thank you to Damon and Mike for sharing a ton of value with us. Guys, watch the Facebook group for what I am going to drop very, very soon. I'm waiting on some details, but like I said, big call happening hopefully this Sunday afternoon with one of our top educators that I'm sure you probably know who I'm talking about, but he's going to come and do a very special presentation for us in our time zone so that more of our friends and family can see what we are doing and how we're doing it. So with that, guys, enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks for showing up and get back with who invited you here and we'll help you get started. All right, guys, enjoy. We'll see you all in the chat. Good evening.